Hey everybody, Cooper here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4 on our 2021 Nissan Rogue. This is going to be a platform style bike rack able to accommodate up to 4 bikes, individually rate weighted for 35 pounds each. So that means unfortunately our heavier e-bikes are not going to be an option for this rack. Also, the main point of contact from our rack is going to be on our center mast, which holds onto our frame. So that means that our carbon frame bikes are unfortunately not going to be an option either. However, since our point of contact does move up and down and kind of spin around, we are able to accommodate our alternative frame bikes. The Destination 4 is going to be a really great entry-level way to get 4 bikes onto your car. Unfortunately, that is going to come with some downsides. First being we don't have a tilt-away feature on our rack. The second one being our clearance issues. So we actually have to put our bike on our second rung for this video because a normal mountain bike like this did not have enough space for that main point of contact for the bike to sit here without making contact onto our windshield. There was no wiggle room at all. It was just right up against the glass. Since we don't have a tilt-away feature, if we want access into our back hatch, we're gonna have to take our bike off. So we're gonna show you what that process looks like. There are 3 main points of contact. The first 2 are going to be these rubber straps here on our front and back tire. So we're just going to engage our ratcheting system and kind of push those out of the way. And then we're going to come up to our center mast where we're making our frame contact, holding onto our bike, because whenever we disengage this system, the weight transfer is going to go from the rack to us, and then folding that out of the way. And then with those 3 points off, we can go ahead and lift our bike down and out of the way, and then we're all good to go. With our bike off, we can take a closer look at our cradles and see that they are a little bit on the smaller side. With this rack, we are only able to accommodate a 3-inch tire width, but we are able to accommodate up to a 48-inch wheel base. Now with our bike off as well, we can go ahead and get this in the more compact position. The first thing we're going to need to do is fold down our center mass. So by just unscrewing our knob here until it's just loose enough to get our arm out of the way, we can go ahead and push that down. Now there is nothing keeping this in that position, so we are going to go ahead and take one of our center masts and go ahead and ratchet that into the strap to help just keep that and discourage it from flying around while we're driving. Now there is this simple knob which sits on our passenger side that we're going to unscrew, but before that we are going to pull out our clip that sits on the driver's side and undo our knob, which will pull out once it's fully disengaged. And that allows us to just go ahead and lift our rack up into our more compact position. And then we simply just need to go ahead and put this back through, tighten it down, and put our clip back into place. Now with our rack in that more folded up compact position, we are going to have a full unobstructed view of our back windshield. Our taillights are still completely visible. It might be a chance that you can use your backup camera, because although the rack does sit pretty high up, we can see that there is a gap here where you might be able to see through. You just might not have that complete full line of vision. Our back license plate is pretty completely obstructed, and if we were to go into reverse, our backup sensors are going to be triggering off of this and making that ringing sound. Anytime we add something onto the hitch of our vehicle, we're going to be adding on length. So let's take some measurements. We're going to go ahead and put our tape measure on the back of our bumper and measure out to the furthest point on our rack, which in this more compact position is only going to be 11 inches, which isn't very much. So if you were trying to park your vehicle in your garage, let's say, with this in the compact position, that's just good to know how much extra space you're going to need. Now this is obviously in the more compact position, so what about when you're driving around with those bikes on? We're just going to go ahead and simply put this back down, and with it down in our carrying position, we're going to take some new measurements. Again, measuring with our bumper to the farthest point from the rack, we can see that we are adding on 37 inches to the back of our vehicle, which is quite a lot compared to that compact position. But holding on to 4 bikes, you're going to have a lot of room added on. And that's just good to know for trying to fit in the garage, maybe in this one, trying to squeeze into a tight space, or like changing lanes on the highway. You need to be aware that there is a lot added on to the back of your vehicle. Our second measurement we're going to look at is ground clearance, and from the bottom of our rack we do have about 22 inches of ground clearance. So if you were to take this up any steep inclines or anything, with how high it sits, I'm not too concerned about making ground contact. Taking a little bit closer at our hitch, we do have a 2-inch shank that's going to fit inside our 2-inch receiver tube. being held in place by this anti-rattle bolt that has a nice lock core at the end, which just means that it's going to be a little more peace of mind security feature for you if you have to go to the bathroom at a grocery store or stop off at a gas station for some reason, that you just have a peace of mind that your bike rack has an additional security feature. Our anti-rattle bolt is just going to be something that helps take out a lot of the additional left to right play. It does help take out a little bit more of the up and down, but when you have your bikes loaded on here, that's going to be the main thing, helping take out that play. Overall, I do think that the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4 is a pretty good entry-level bike rack. It certainly is a really nice way to get 4 bikes loaded up onto a vehicle. That being said, like we talked about earlier, I would be really concerned on what bike I can fit here on our closest cradle to the vehicle. But if that's something that you think you can overcome, or if you're only looking to carry around 3 bikes, this would be a really good option for you. And we saw that here today on our 2021 Nissan Rogue. Thanks for watching.
Now we're going to go ahead and take it on our test course. First we'll start with the slaloms. This is going to show the side-to-side action. It's kind of going to mimic the movements that you'll see whenever you're driving down the road normally. Now we'll have the alternating speed bumps. This is going to be more so like the uneven roads and some of that uneven terrain you might be traveling on, and see how it holds up.